Have you ever felt like a ghost in your own family? You know, the kind of ghost that everyone ignores until they need something haunted fixed? Or in my case, until a bill needs to be paid? For 30 years, I convinced myself that this was normal. I told myself that love was transactional. I thought that if I just paid enough, if I just sacrificed enough, eventually, they would look at me and see a daughter, not a bank account. I was wrong. I was so incredibly wrong that it cost me $60,000 to learn the truth. My name is Sarah. And if you are listening to this, maybe you are the responsible one in your family. Maybe you're the one who moved away, the one who made it, the one who gets the guilt-tripping text messages at 2 a.m. If that's you, I need you to listen closely. Because what happened to me last Christmas wasn't just a family drama. It was a wake-up call that nearly destroyed me, but instead, it set me free. Let's start with the lie. It's always a lie, isn't it? I live in London. To my family back in San Diego, London sounds like a fairy tale. They imagine I'm drinking tea with the king and living in a penthouse overlooking the Thames. They see my social media updates, which I carefully curate to look happy, and they assume I am swimming in cash. The reality? My apartment is a shoebox. Actually, a shoebox would be an upgrade. I live in a damp, drafty studio where I can touch the stove and my bed at the same time. I haven't bought new clothes in 2 years. I tape up the soles of my boots when they wear out. I eat instant noodles for dinner 5 nights a week. Why? Why do I live like a pauper when I have a high-paying job in tech? Because every month, like clockwork, I send $1,500 home. It starts with a text from my mom, Linda. Oh Sarah, the water heater exploded. Transfer. Then a call from my dad, Robert. My truck needs a new transmission, honey. I can't get to work without it. Transfer. Then my brother, Mike. Just a small loan, sis. I swear I'll pay you back. Transfer. I never saw a dime back. Not once. But I paid. I paid because I wanted to be the good daughter. I paid because I felt guilty for leaving. I paid because I thought I was buying their love. 2 weeks before Christmas, my phone rang. It was 3 a.m. in London. My mom was on FaceTime, sobbing. Not just crying, heaving sobs. Sarah, she wailed. We miss you so much. It's not the same without you. Your father is getting older. He just sits in his chair and stares at your picture. Mike's kids don't even know who their Auntie Sarah is. Please, come home. Just this once. We need you. Her tears felt so real. My heart, that stupid, traitorous organ in my chest, shattered. I looked around my cold, lonely apartment and thought, maybe this year will be different. Maybe they really do just want me. So, I did the unthinkable. I drained my emergency savings, the money I was secretly saving for a down payment on a house of my own, and I booked a last-minute flight. It cost a fortune. I flew 10 hours in a middle seat, crushed between a man who snored and a baby who screamed the entire way across the Atlantic. My knees ached. My back throbbed. I didn't sleep a wink. But I smiled. I smiled because I was going home. I landed in San Diego at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. The California sun was blinding. I dragged my heavy suitcase to the curb, fighting the jet lag that made the world spin. I didn't tell them my exact arrival time because I wanted to surprise them. I wanted to see that spark of joy in their eyes when I walked through the door. I took an Uber to the house. The house that I had paid to paint last summer. The house where I paid the mortgage when my dad forgot. I stood on the porch. My hands were shaking. I took a deep breath, smoothing down my wrinkled travel clothes, and rang the bell. Steps approached. The lock clicked. The door swung open. It was my mom. She was wearing a silk robe, holding a cup of coffee. She looked fine. She wasn't crying. She wasn't staring at my picture. She looked annoyed that someone had interrupted her morning routine. She looked at me. Then she looked past me, scanning the driveway. Then she looked back at my face. There was no smile. No scream of delight. No open arms. "Oh," she said. Her voice was flat. "You're here early." I stood there, my arms half raised for a hug that never came. "Hi, Mom." "Surprise?" She took a sip of her coffee, her eyes narrowing as she critiqued my appearance. "You look terrible, Sarah. Your skin is so gray. And have you gained weight? London food must be full of carbs. You look swollen." That was the greeting. After a year of separation. After a 10-hour flight. "You look fat and gray." My dad yelled from the living room. "Who is it, Linda?" "I'm trying to watch the game." "It's Sarah," she called back, turning around and walking into the house, leaving me to drag my own suitcase over the threshold. "She's finally here." I walked into the living room. My dad didn't even stand up. He waved a hand at me without taking his eyes off the TV screen. "Hey, kid. Don't block the screen. Move to the side." I felt a physical blow to my chest. The air left my lungs. "Hi, Dad," I whispered. "It's good to see you too." Yeah, he grunted. "Put your bag in the guest room. But don't unpack too much. Mike is coming over with the kids later, and they might need the space for their toys." I dragged my suitcase down the hall. The guest room was actually a storage room filled with boxes of my mom's old clothes and my dad's broken tools. There was a bare mattress in the corner. No sheets. No pillow. Just a bare, stained mattress. I sat down on that mattress, surrounded by junk, and I stared at the wall. The jet lag was hitting me hard now, but it wasn't just exhaustion. It was a heavy, sinking feeling of dread. Why did I come? I asked myself. Why did I think it would change? But the real nightmare hadn't even started yet. About an hour later, the front door slammed open. A hurricane of noise erupted. My brother Mike had arrived with his 2 kids, Leo and Mia. "Grandma! Grandpa!" the kids screamed. I walked out to the living room, trying to put a smile on my face. "Hey, Mike." "Hey, kiddos." Mike looked at me. He was wearing designer sunglasses and a new leather jacket. He looked good. Expensive. Better than me. "Oh, hey Sarah," he said, chewing gum loudly. "You made it. Cool." He turned back to the kids. "Guys, this is Aunt Sarah. Don't touch her, she probably has airport germs." The kids looked at me with suspicion. Then, Leo, who is 8 years old, ran up and kicked me in the shin. Hard. "Ow." I gasped. "Leo, stop it," Mike said lazily, checking his phone. He didn't apologize. He didn't discipline him. He just laughed. He's got a lot of energy today. You know how boys are. Then, the mood in the house shifted. My mom came out of her bedroom. She was dressed up now. Full makeup, hair done, wearing a dress I knew cost at least $300 because I had sent her the money for it last month for groceries. My dad was up too, polishing a set of golf clubs. "Okay everyone, listen up." Mom clapped her hands. "We have a big schedule today." My heart fluttered. Finally, I thought. A family outing. Maybe we're going to lunch. Maybe the beach. Mom turned to me. Her eyes were cold and calculating. "Sarah, since you're here, you can make yourself useful. The maid called in sick, and I need the house spotless before we leave tomorrow." "Leave?" I asked, confused. "Leave for where?" "Oh, didn't we tell you?" Mike smirked. We're going on a trip. Hawaii. 5-star resort. The whole package. I blinked. We are going to Hawaii? My dad laughed. A harsh, barking sound. No, no. We are going to Hawaii. Me, your mom, Mike, and his wife. And the kids, of course. What about me? I asked, my voice trembling. Well, someone has to watch the house, Mom said, as if it were obvious. And honestly, Sarah, you look so tired. You wouldn't enjoy the beach. You hate the sun. We thought it would be better if you stayed here. Besides, we need someone to take care of the dogs. I felt the room spinning. You invited me home, you begged me to come home, just to house sit while you go on a vacation? Don't be dramatic, Mom snapped. It's a family bonding trip. We haven't had a vacation in years. You should be happy for us. You live in Europe, you travel all the time. Let us have this. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell them I don't travel. I work. I starve. But I bit my tongue. I was still in shock. And, Mike added, tossing a dirty diaper bag onto the sofa, we actually decided not to take the kids. The resort is adults only for the spa package. So, congrats, Auntie Sarah. You get to bond with your niece and nephew for a whole week. Alone. What? I looked at the two kids, who were currently smearing chocolate on the white carpet. You want me to babysit? For a week? While you go to a luxury resort? It saves us a fortune on a nanny, Mike shrugged. Nannies are charging $30 an hour these days. It's criminal. Your family. You're free. Your family. You're free. Those words echoed in my head. That was it. That was my value. I wasn't a daughter. I was a free service. Now, stop standing there with your mouth open, Mom commanded. Go to the kitchen. We're starving. Make lunch. And not sandwiches. Make something nice. We have a long flight tomorrow. I walked into the kitchen like a zombie. My body was on autopilot. I chopped vegetables. I boiled pasta. I seared meat. The steam from the pots mixed with the hot tears running down my face. I could hear them in the living room, laughing, popping a bottle of champagne I probably paid for. They were celebrating their trip. A trip they were taking while leaving me behind to wipe noses and clean up dog poop. But the breaking point, the moment that turned my sadness into a cold, hard rage, came at dinner. We sat down. They ate the food I cooked without saying thank you. Mike complained the pasta was too salty. Dad complained the meat was too dry. Then, Mike slid a glossy folder across the table toward me. Here, he said. The itinerary. And the emergency contacts. Don't call us unless the house is burning down. We want to relax. I opened the folder. I saw the photos of the resort. It was paradise. Ocean views, private butlers, infinity pools. Then I saw the invoice. My eyes scanned the numbers. Total cost, $12,500. $12,000. For 1 week. And then, at the bottom of the page, I saw it. Payment method, Visa ending in 4589. My fork clattered onto my plate. The sound rang out in the silence. I knew those numbers. 4,589. That was my credit card. Not the card I used every day. It was an emergency card I had opened years ago, under my name, but I had given a supplementary card to my mom. I told her, this is for life or death. If someone is in the hospital. If the house is flooded. Use this. I looked up. My hands were shaking so violently I had to hide them under the table. Mom, I whispered. My voice sounded strange, like it was coming from underwater. Mom, whose card is this? She didn't even look up from her pasta. Oh, that? We used your card, honey. Just for the booking. You used my emergency card? For a vacation? Well, we didn't have the liquidity right now, my dad chimed in, wiping tomato sauce from his chin. We're a little tight this month. We figured you wouldn't mind. You make so much money over there in London with your fancy job. What's $10,000 to you? It's a drop in the bucket. This is my house fund, I said. My voice was rising now. This is the money I saved for 5 years. I ate noodles for 5 years for this money. Lower your voice. Dad slammed his fist on the table. The plates jumped. Don't you dare raise your voice at me in my own house. You ungrateful brat. Ungrateful? I stood up. The chair scraped loudly against the floor. I flew 5,000 miles to see you. And you steal $10,000 from me and tell me to babysit? It's not stealing. Mom yelled, her face turning red. We are your parents. We gave you life. You owe us everything. You should be honored to pay for us to have a little rest. God, you are so selfish. You always have been. Just thinking about your money. Mike laughed, swirling his wine glass. Seriously, Sarah. Don't be such a miser. You're going to die alone with your cats and your money if you keep acting like this. No wonder no man wants you. The kids pointed at me and laughed. Aunt Sarah is crazy. Aunt Sarah is yelling. I looked at them. I looked at their faces. My dad, angry and entitled. My mom, manipulative and cruel. My brother, a leech in a leather jacket. And the kids, learning to be just like them. In that moment, something inside me snapped. It wasn't a loud snap. It was quiet. It was the sound of a heavy chain finally breaking. The tears stopped instantly. The shaking stopped. A strange, icy calm washed over me. It was the calm of a soldier who realizes the enemy isn't across the battlefield, the enemy is in the room. I looked at them. Really looked at them. And I realized, I don't love these people anymore. And they never loved me. Okay, I said. My voice was steady. Deadly calm. They stopped yelling. They looked confused by my sudden shift. You're right, I said. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be selfish. You guys deserve this trip. Mom let out a relieved sigh. Well, finally. I'm glad you came to your senses. Sit down and finish your food. I'm not hungry, I said. I'm going to go to bed. I have to be ready to babysit tomorrow, right? That's the spirit, Mike grinned. Make sure you wake up early. We leave at 8 a.m. I walked to the storage room. I closed the door. I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I opened my laptop. The Wi-Fi in the house was strong. I paid for it, after all. I logged into my bank account. I saw the pending charge. $12,500. I logged into the resort's website using the confirmation number on the invoice Mike had so kindly given me. I looked at the booking. The Miller family. Oceanfront suite. VIP package. My finger hovered over the mouse. I thought about the noodles. I thought about the cold walks in the rain. I thought about the insults. You look gray. You're ungrateful. I clicked cancel reservation. A box popped up. Are you sure? Non-refundable deposit will be returned to the original card. I clicked yes. Status, cancelled. But I wasn't done. Oh, I was just getting started. I opened a spreadsheet. I went back 3 years. I downloaded every statement. Every Zelle transfer. Every PayPal. Every time I paid the electric bill. The water bill. The Netflix. The Spotify. The Amazon Prime. I categorized them. Utilities. Mortgage support. Mike's business loans. Mom's medical emergencies that turned out to be Botox. The total sum stared back at me. $60,250. I drafted a legal document. It wasn't a lawsuit, not yet. It was a demand for repayment and notification of severance. Then, I went to the utility websites. San Diego Power and Electric. Log in. Username, Sarah Miller. Action, schedule disconnection. Date, tomorrow. Water. Schedule disconnection. Internet. Cancel service. Cable TV. Cancel service. Cell phone family plan. Remove lines, Mom, Dad, Mike. I worked through the night. I felt like a hacker in a movie, dismantling their comfortable life one click at a time. It was the most satisfying night of my life. At 7 a.m., the sun came up. I showered, dressed in my travel clothes, and packed my suitcase. I walked into the living room. They were all there, buzzing with excitement. Suitcases were piled by the door. The taxi was 5 minutes away. Sarah. Mom yelled. Don't just stand there. Help Mike load the bags. And remember, the dogs eat at 5 p.m. sharp. I walked past the bags. I walked to the giant flat-screen TV on the wall, the TV I bought for Dad's birthday last year. I pulled an HDMI cable from my bag and plugged in my laptop. What are you doing? Dad frowned. We don't have time for this. Sit down, I said. I didn't shout. But my voice was so cold, so authoritative, that they actually froze. I said, sit down. They sat. I pressed a key on my laptop. The screen flickered to life. A giant Excel spreadsheet filled the 65-inch screen. What is that? Mike squinted. This, I said, pointing to the screen, is a record of every single dollar I have sent to this family in the last 3 years. I scrolled down. The list went on and on. March 2021. Mortgage assistance. $1,200. June 2021. Mike's credit card debt. $2,500. September 2022. Dad's surgery. $4,000. I turned to them. The grand total is $60,250. So what? Dad sneered. You're charging us now? After you gave it to us? That's low, Sarah. No, I said. I'm not charging you. I'm cutting my losses. I clicked to the next tab. The resort confirmation page appeared. Giant red letters, cancelled. The room went dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Then, my mom screamed. It was a primal, animalistic sound. What did you do? I cancelled the trip, I said calmly. Since it was paid for with my card, and my name is on the booking, I have the legal right to cancel it. The money has already been refunded to my account. There is no Hawaii. There is no VIP suite. You monster. Mike lunged at me. He actually ran across the room. I didn't flinch. I held up my phone. I am recording this. And I have 911 on speed dial. Touch me, and you go to jail. Again. He stopped, chest heaving, fists clenched. I'm not finished, I said. I looked at my dad. The power goes out at noon today. I cancelled the contract. I looked at Mom. The water will be shut off tomorrow. The internet is already down. Check your phones. They all pulled out their phones. No signal, Mike whispered. She cut the plan. And finally, I reached into my bag and pulled out a thick envelope. I tossed it onto the coffee table. This house. The mortgage is in both our names. My lawyer filed a partition action this morning. You have 30 days to refinance this house in your own names and pay me my share of the equity, or the court will force you to sell it. My dad turned purple. He clutched his chest. You're killing me. You're killing your father. No, Dad, I said. You're killing yourself. I'm just stopping you from using me to pay for the funeral. Mom was on the floor, sobbing, grabbing at the hem of my pants. Sarah, please. Don't do this. We're sorry. We were just stressed. We love you. You can come to Hawaii. We'll rebook it. Just fix it. I looked down at her. The woman who birthed me. The woman who told me I looked gray and fat. The woman who treated me like a servant. I tried to love you, Mom, I said softly. I tried to buy your love for 30 years. But yesterday, you showed me the truth. You don't want a daughter. You want a bank. I kicked my leg free from her grip. I grabbed my suitcase handle. Goodbye. I walked out the door. Behind me, the house erupted into chaos. Screaming. Crying. Objects being thrown. I walked down the driveway, the wheels of my suitcase clicking against the pavement. The taxi they had called for the airport pulled up. Airport, the driver asked. No, I said. Downtown. I didn't go back to London immediately. I couldn't. I was shaking too hard. I went to a hotel in downtown San Diego. A nice one. I ordered room service. I took a hot bath. And I waited. The fallout was spectacular. Without my financial support, their house of cards collapsed in days. My dad went on Facebook. He wrote a long, rambling post about how his ungrateful, demon daughter abandoned them at Christmas and stole their vacation. He tried to play the victim. She left us with nothing. We are freezing in the dark. Pray for us. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I simply posted a screenshot of the spreadsheet in the comments. And the screenshot of the text messages where Mom asked for money for groceries and then posted a picture of a new Louis Vuitton bag. The internet did the rest. The comments section tore them apart. You stole from your daughter? You made her pay $60,000 and you treated her like a maid? The humiliation was absolute. My dad deleted his Facebook account the next day. A week later, on Christmas Eve, I was still at the hotel. I was sitting by the window, watching the rain. It was quiet. Peaceful. There was a knock on the door. I looked through the peephole. It was Mom. I hesitated. But I opened the door. She looked broken. Her hair was messy. She wasn't wearing makeup. She was wearing an old coat. She didn't try to hug me. She didn't cry. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a crumpled envelope. She handed it to me. It's $500, she whispered. I sold my bags. And Mike. Mike got a job at the warehouse. Night shift. I took the envelope. It's not $60,000, she said, her voice cracking. But we're going to pay you back. Every cent. Even if it takes until I die. I looked at her. For the first time in my life, I saw my mother. Not the queen bee. Not the manipulator. Just a flawed, desperate woman who finally hit rock bottom. Why? I asked. Why now? She looked down at her hands. Because when the lights went out, we realized you were the only light we had. And we blew it out. She turned and walked away down the hotel hallway. A small, lonely figure. I closed the door. I held the check in my hand. I didn't cash it. I framed it. I put it on my desk in London when I returned. It's been a year now. I still talk to them, but it's different. We have boundaries. I don't send money. Ever. Mike is working. Dad sold the expensive truck and bought a used sedan. They refinanced the house, barely. They are struggling, yes. But they are living their own lives. And I am living mine. I spent this Christmas in Paris. Alone. Eating a croissant by the Eiffel Tower. And let me tell you, that croissant tasted better than any family dinner I ever paid for. Because it tasted like freedom. So, here is my question to you. How much is your self-respect worth? Is it worth $60,000? Is it worth the guilt? If you are the Sarah of your family, if you are the one holding everyone up while they kick you down, stop. Drop the load. Let them fall. Because sometimes, the only way people learn to stand on their own 2 feet is when you stop carrying them. If you would have done what I did, if you would have pressed that cancel button, let me know in the comments. Type I would cancel it. I want to know I'm not the only one who chose myself. Thank you for listening. And remember, you cannot set yourself on fire just to keep others warm. This is Sarah's story, signing off.